All right guys, I've been checking out a truckload of new gear for the last few months, so if you're interested in some new gear for a new season, hang out for a few minutes and check some of this stuff out. What's up guys, Eric here with At Home in the Future, and it's time for another gear drop video. So like I mentioned in the intro, I spent the last few months testing out a bunch of stuff. We got some EDC gear, we got some stuff that goes in your pockets, we've got some stuff to wear, we've got some shoes, we even got a really cool fire pit to check out. Now as usual, this is a mix of stuff I picked up myself and some stuff just showed up in the mail, but regardless, it's a really cool mix of gear. But let's jump right in and get to it with EDC gear and stuff that goes in your pockets. So I always like to kick things off with everyday carry stuff and pocket stuff, or just the things in general that you'll actually use every day, because I feel like this stuff is the stuff that's the most personal to all of us. Anyway, everything you see here and the stuff all throughout the video, I've shopped around as much as I can and tried to find the best prices for you guys. So if you want to get a really good deal and help support the channel, be sure to use the links down in the description. It's kind of a shortcut for finding this stuff. But let's kick things off. I'll just kind of go across the range here. Got a lot of really neat stuff to look at this month, including one of my favorite things ever. But we'll get to that here in just a minute. So right off the bat, let's start with a knife. And believe it or not, I actually have a Gerber this month. This is the Gerber Sedulo, which I've kind of had my eyes on for a while now. And then I saw they kind of had this space edition out a few weeks ago, and I knew I had to pick that up. I'm a big space nerd. I love space stuff, but this knife is very interesting. So Gerber, the reason why I said it's surprising is I feel like Gerber has been kind of a value or even like a discount brand for a little while now. It's the stuff you find at like a Walmart or a sporting goods store. It used to be like really well known, especially their pocket knives, for being high quality and everything. And it feels like for the longest time, either they just licensed out their name or just kind of rushed to the bottom as far as price wise goes. But all of a sudden, Gerber decided they're going to start doing some made in the USA stuff. And I think the Sedulo is either the first or one of the first models of that. It even has like their own little slide lock mechanism, kind of like the Axis lock. But this little thing is really cool. So I ordered it thinking, okay, I want something that maybe is a little bit like their version of the Bug Out. You'll notice right off the bat, it's a similar, here I'll show it all folded up here, similar size, a little bit bigger, definitely thicker. I realized once I got it, it's actually a lot more like the classic Benchmade Griptilian. Kind of thicker scales, a lot of grippiness and everything, but when you open these things up, very similar size and similar profile, maybe a little bit slimmer for the Sedulo. So anyway, long story short, we'll keep talking about this knife itself because there's a lot to talk about. Nice, thick, grippy scales, really cool texturing on here. Like I said, this is a limited edition model that I don't even think you can get now. It was only up for a few days and I just jumped on it the second I saw it because it had space stuff. But they have a custom site where you can go in and get different color scales and everything. The scales are a little bit plasticky. Again, it feels like a Griptilian, but look at all this jimping going up here. You've got ambidextrous pocket clip that can go either way. It actually is deep carry. A little jimping down here on the choil. I think they've got some sort of grease or something. I noticed in these white scales, I keep getting stuff on them anytime I handle this. So I think just fresh out of the box here, I'm still kind of getting that stuff on me. But very smooth action, no blade play at all. Really easy to pop out there. And the cool part is it is totally, as you can see on the blade here, totally made in the USA. S30V steel, you can see the markings there from this limited edition model. But a few different versions of this. A special edition one like this one's a little bit more. I think you can get these for a little bit over 100, but I've had my eyes on this for a while now, and I've kind of had fun having it in my pocket. So it's a little bit bigger in the pocket than what I typically carry. But if you're looking for an American-made, high-quality knife, a brand kind of living up to their prior reputation, Gerber's got something special with this thing. I'm really digging it. It's a very, very cool knife. Definitely worth checking out if you're into a full-size knife. I think they have a few other American-made options out there too. But nice materials, great craftsmanship, smooth action, very cool. So good job, Gerber. That's the Gerber Sedulo. Worth checking out if you're in the market for a new knife. Next up, we'll just kind of move across here. You're probably wondering, what in the world is this thing? This is essentially the world's most over-engineered lighter, and I thought it was really cool. So this is a HUCKBERRY find for me. I was digging around on their EDC pages and found this and was just fascinated by it. So one, it kind of appealed to me because it is very fidgety. You can spin it around. It is refillable with butane. You can see the window here. It's got an adjustable level here. So it works just like any other lighter. So click, and then you got your flame there. But the little trick with this thing is, ergonomically, it's designed to flip it over like this, If you're lighting a candle and that candle is upside down, you can light this thing totally upside down and light your stuff that way, which is a cool little trick. So if you're the type of person who's maybe into lighters, I don't smoke or anything, I just think this stuff is really cool. This thing is just over-engineered to the max. Feels super smooth, very fidgety. It basically will last you a lifetime. I'm pretty sure it has a lifetime warranty as well. Just cool finishes on it. You can crank the flame too. I'm gonna crank it all the way up. So you can see that thing just cranks out a flame. It's like a little mini flamethrower. Anyway, if you're a pyro like I am, you may totally dig this thing. Worth checking out. You can find those on HUCKBERRY. Very cool little item there. I'm pretty sure it was originally a crowdfunded item. I didn't know there's like a whole world, and of course I should know this from being in the EDC world, but there's a whole world of lighter nerds. All right, so heading into summer, you're gonna be out in the sun, which we'll talk about this in a second. I know it seems dumb to have this on here, but I've got a lot to say about this sunscreen here in a second. Got another pair of really great sunglasses to recommend from Distill Union. So these are the Mavericks. So I'm sure you can probably tell where that name has come from because they've got that classic aviator design with a little bit of a modern update. So they don't have as deep of a dive on your cheek as some aviator sunglasses tend to have. But really high quality materials. What makes these so great, if you're familiar with Distill's products at all, is they have some magnetic extra features in them. So if you're putting them on your shirt, and you want to keep your sunglasses closed so they don't fall off when you bend over, you'll notice that the frames pop right into place and lock against each other, so they'll securely lock in your shirt. If you use one of Distill's magnetic racks when you come in the house from home or in your car or something, you can use the magnets there just to pop them against that, or really any metal surface. But just a really high quality pair of aviator style sunglasses, totally polarized. If you're looking into a brand like Ray-Ban or any of the others that make something similar, you can get these for a little bit less, and I think probably higher quality materials with a few cool new features. So worth checking out. Those are the Distill Union Mavericks. They make really cool sunglasses. Lots of less expensive models as well if you don't totally need this style or like the metal frames. I believe these may even be titanium frames, but I've enjoyed these this summer so far. Good to get outside. I always have to have something to protect my eyes from the sun and everything anyway, so pretty cool there. So that is the Maverick sunglasses from Distill Union. Let's see, you know what, since these are all kind of similar, I'm going to go down and talk about our pen here for a minute. So you guys may be familiar with Tactile Turn. This is a special edition pen from them that just spoke to me and I knew I had to have it. I'll let you guess for a second, just looking at the box, what this might be. So I don't know if that reminds you of anything or if this little code here on the side means anything to you. If you're unfamiliar with Tactile Turn, they make really premium, really awesome EDC pens. And they also have like Tactile Knife that makes some really cool knives. We're gonna check one of those out one day. But this is my titanium little mini bolt action pen. Very fidgety. If you're using a pen every day, this is one of those things you can add to your EDC. Definitely a premium cost. I feel like this is one of the things I get yelled at the most in my big EDC overview video I did a while ago. As people see this pen and they're like, oh man, why would you spend that much for a pen? But again, you're spending a lot for a knife, you're spending a lot for this other stuff. If you care about your EDC or you just really want to dig into something that is just particularly you, these are definitely splurge purchases. They'll last you a lifetime. Pretty cool. But this is all titanium. Anyway, enough about that. I wanted to branch out to one of their other products, and I've been looking at one of their side click pens for a while, and they have special editions of their side clicks they do every so often. And this is the 8-bit pen. So I am a child of the 8-bit generation. The regular Nintendo hit right when I was in kindergarten, and it was the talk of the playground, and I've basically been a Nintendo guy ever since. And so this thing has a lot of different features that call back to that original Nintendo design. It's all that milled titanium that Tactile Turn is known for, so just precision engineered every step of the way with just really fine ribbing all throughout. But it's got a really cool gray Cerakote that matches the original old school 8-bit systems. It's got kind of the muted gray from those. It's got even the orange that mimics the blaster that used to come with the original NES, and even a little reset thing here. So just a simple click pen that again has that extreme fidget factor. It's press down, click, press down, click. I could sit there all day at my desk doing this, and for the sake of my coworkers, I try not to. Perfectly pocketable, uses easy to find replacement cartridges, so you can use this pen your whole life. If you are a nerd like I am and this totally appeals to you in a way that you can't even explain, this is a limited edition that's only available till the end of June, so keep an eye out on their website for that. Again, these are a premium product. Tactile Turn makes incredible stuff. It's handcrafted, made in the USA, and it does carry a little bit of a premium price tag. But if you're into pens, if you're into very specific EDC items that you just get joy from having maybe a premium thing that you're going to use every day. This is definitely worth something checking out. And their limited editions go fast, and once they're gone, they are gone. Now, if you just want to get a regular side click, they have those on their site as well, and a few different metals and stuff for a little bit less money. But very, very cool product. And it's something, again, every day I'm having to sign invoices and doing all sorts of stuff. So having this little thing in my pocket is a bunch of fun. I just kept the box out because I thought the box was super cool with the old school Mario World style bricks there. So super cool product from Tactile Turn. The 8-bit side click pen. Remember, limited edition, so go grab one if you want one within about a month of when this video is coming out. Let's move over through the wallet category real quick. I've still been agonizing over what is the best wallet for me. You know, I use that Herschel Slim wallet. You may have seen that in our big EDC comparison. That's been like my go-to for ages. I've gone back and forth in a few other models and kind of tried different mechanisms and everything. I reached out to Bellroy and said, hey, I want to check out one of your models, and they sent me a few cool things to check out here. So I'm going to go through these real quick because I've got some big opinions on them. So first up, we'll take a look at this. This is the flip case, which is pretty cool. Got kind of a leather-like, or maybe leather itself coating on the outside. But if you're a card person, you may really dig this. It's one-hand friendly. You can just pop it open. You can slide a card out. The back side here, you can have a few bills maybe tucked down in there, have cards down in there as well. But kind of a cool take on the old wallet design. Again, can be kind of fidgety. You can sit there and play with it. Comes in lots of different colorways and everything, but has that typical Bellroy quality. Very nice. I like that because of the rounded edges too, it slides in and out of the pocket pretty easy, and it's pretty rigid. So it definitely doesn't have the leather squish. It'll definitely keep your cards safe, and all these things down here I'm about to show you are all RFID protected. So if you got the modern tap to pay cards, these things are going to keep them safe. But this is a really cool option. In practice for me, I tried it for about a week and I was like, you know what? This isn't the one that I think matches my lifestyle the most, but still very cool. So I want to show it to you today. Another option they sent out is their all conditions phone pocket. So if you're a person who's like, I basically want to carry a phone and maybe my wallet all together, nothing else. I want to slide in and out of a bag. I don't really want to keep it in my pocket. This is a really cool option. So you can throw this in a backpack or maybe throw it in a back pocket if you want. But it has a full sleeve in here, kind of stretchy, sized just right for my iPhone 13 Pro. But also a place to slide in some cards, to slide in paperwork or insurance stuff. And they even have a little attachment back here for like your house key or something. If you have kind of a slim key like this, you may have kind of a minimalist lifestyle where this is totally up your alley. This can basically be your wallet, your bag, and everything all in one. It is very well engineered. The leather feels great. Even has this water resistant. I don't think it's waterproof, but kind of a water resistant enclosure there that keeps your stuff nice. My buddy who's way into riding his bike everywhere has a model almost exactly like this and loves it. This is what he carries. Super premium if that is your style. Definitely worth checking out there. But I've got to admit, I may have found the wallet finally after testing a whole bunch of wallets over the last year. Has made me fully switch gears over into a totally different system, and that is this Bellroy Apex Slim Sleeve. Again, comes in a few different colors, but man, there's so much I like about this. There's really not a whole lot to it besides just everything it does. I feel like it does it really well. So first and foremost, it has this magnetic closure here. So it's all just simple leather, very clean lines and everything, built just to have one card up front on each side, which is about what I use. I really just kind of rotate through two cards on a regular basis there. But magnetically, it just closes like that. So you can use your fingernails to pry it apart, or if you have it stuffed like I do, you can pinch and it'll just pop right open. But what I like about this, I like the clean lines and everything. I like that the leather kind of ages. You can see I've been carrying it quite a bit. But it still kind of has that, I don't know why I call it this, like a leather mush. Like in my pocket, it feels kind of padded and nice instead of like hard and rigid like some other of the metal like slide up card wallets I've tried. I think that's a really cool thing. I love also that it has a pocket for cash, where it's really easy to slide that stuff in. And I love this little pull tab down here where I can just slide out my cards. I keep my ID and stuff I don't use all that much back there. You can kind of fan stuff out and get through it. Then when you're done, just tuck it back down. But you don't have to like reach your finger in and fish it out. You've got that little pull tab that makes it super easy. But a very simple idea done in a really great way. Even love the little Bellroy owl accent there. This has been my go-to over the last month and a half that I've been testing this thing. Once I pulled this one out, like I said, I tried this for a few days. This wasn't really my style, so I just looked it over and kind of set it aside for this video. But man, this wallet here, it's going to be hard to pull me away from it. It is just so smartly designed and so my style. Very easy to slide stuff in and out. You don't have to worry about your stuff falling out because of how securely it closes. But man, really love this thing. That's the Bellroy Apex Slim Sleeve. Probably my new favorite wallet right now. Super worth checking out. All right, so the last thing we're gonna look at as far as EDC stuff goes isn't EDC gear, but probably something that you need to wear every day. And that is, if you're like me, you probably need some sunscreen. You can see my skin, I've always just been super, super pale. But a little secret is, man, I hate sunscreen. I hate how it feels. I feel like sticky all the time. I feel like when I bend my arm and everything, I can feel it sticking. When I sweat and everything, I feel like it just leaves a grit and grime. So after a lot of online research, reading all the blogs about like, oh, what's the best sunscreen for 2023? This stuff, I kept seeing it over and over, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this stuff out. And this stuff is absolutely awesome. If you hate sunscreen, but you need sunscreen to survive outside like I do, this is a total game changer. So basically what this is it's sunscreen that doesn't really feel like it's sunscreen at all. I'm just gonna put a little bit on here. But when you like rub the stuff in, you can't even tell, like within 5 seconds, I can't even tell that I put anything on. Like it's totally dry. Your skin actually feels like your skin still. It does have like a little bit of a mild, nice sunscreen scent, but it doesn't smell like you're at a beach resort. It just smells kind of fresh. But the most important thing is it actually works. I was out with my son at field day the other day, had this stuff on, and man, totally protected me. Really, really good stuff. And at like a normal price. You're not paying like $50 a bottle for sunscreen. This is like a normal kind of mid-range drugstore sunscreen. It's like $10 a bottle or something like that. Go grab some of this. If the sun hates you like it hates me, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Very good stuff and a good way to close out our EDC roundup. All right, let's switch gears and talk about stuff to wear this summer. And I've got 4 good options for you today. The very first one we're going to talk about may not look like much, and it's this line of merino wool shirts from Proof. Now, these are called 72-hour shirts. I know what you're thinking. Hey, Eric, this thing it's a shirt. It looks like a gray shirt. And that's what makes this thing so great, because it also has some really cool superpowers. So basically what it is kind of like a high-end textile that looks like normal, like cotton or anything else you get a shirt made out of. But it has really cool properties. So it's moisture wicking, it doesn't hold smells, it's real easy to clean. You can actually machine wash this stuff too. It's temperature regulating, so it'll keep you cool if you're in the sun, it'll keep you warm if you're in like a cold movie theater or something hanging out. Super, super versatile. But I've been wearing this thing quite a bit. This is the long sleeve version, kind of a t-shirt material, fits great and everything. But if you go to HUCKBERRY's website, they've got a whole line of this stuff from Proof. They've got like polo shirts, short sleeve stuff, long sleeve stuff. It's worth investing in if you travel at all or need something that's like quick to clean up in a hotel sink where you just hang it up and let it dry. It dries real fast too. Can't recommend these things strongly enough. From Proof, the 72-hour shirt, very, very cool product. Next on the list is the thing I'm wearing actually right now, and this is a mid-weight hoodie from Reigning Champ. Found this on HUCKBERRY, and long story short, this is just a really awesome hoodie that's good for like a dozen different situations. So I know what you're thinking, it's summer, you know, you're typically hot outside, but if you go to a ball game, if you're going camping or something, it's good to have like a layer you can throw on for a cooler night. What makes it so special though is a few different things. First is just the quality of this. This thing is actually made in Canada. It's not like the typical bargain bin hoodie you're gonna grab. This thing is built to last, really great stitching throughout. The thing I really like the cuffs and like the stretchy parts in the bottom that kind of cling to you. You know, like the hoodie you typically have, like you'll put it on, maybe push up the sleeves a little bit, and that cuff just immediately stretches out and stays like where it's just stretched out. So anytime you put it on, it looks like it's just already been out of shape and has been used for years. Well, this hoodie is built differently where all that stitching keeps that elastic nice and tight and stuff. And the cool thing is too, it's not that big boxy fit. It's actually pretty slim, stays kind of like an athletic fit, which if that's something you're looking for, this is definitely gonna fit the bill for that sort of thing. Also, like even though it's slim, it's still pretty roomy. It's got like these stretchy spots all throughout the side, which are really nice. But all in all, super high quality hoodie. You're gonna use this thing for years. It's a great investment if you just need a layering piece. Awesome hoodie, definitely worth checking out. You can find these on HUCKBERRY in a lot of different sizes and a few different colors too. Reigning Champ makes some really good stuff. Let's wrap up this section by talking about shoes. And I've got 2 really cool options I think for you today. The first is these On Cloud Vista sneakers. I found these at HUCKBERRY, and these things are a total game changer. Now you may have seen these kind of make their way across the US over the last few years, just pretty popular in like athletic circles and with runners and everything for good reason. They've got some really interesting technology in them. They got this Helion foam that's supposed to be great. They've got whatever they call this, like cloud tech, like spring action in the bottom. But when you see all these little holes across the bottom, what that adds up to is it's super light and very, very squishy and cushiony. So if you're doing anything this summer where you're going to be standing around a lot, think standing in line for a concert or going to a festival or like a theme park or that sort of thing, These bad boys are awesome. Super light, very breathable. I think they have a really cool look too. If you go to HUCKBERRY's website, you'll see a bunch of different colors in these different styles. But man, I couldn't say more positive things about this. Now, I'm not a runner, so I don't really know how to rate these this way. I will say that like the grippiness on the bottom is unbelievable. So the first few days, if you get a pair of these and you're walking up some stairs, watch out because these will just grip super, super good. Overall, a great shoe. Because of the profile, they look great with you're wearing like low profile socks and some shorts. But if you're gonna be doing a lot of standing this summer and just activities where you're up and on your feet and on the move a lot, grab a pair of these, grab a few pair of these. They're really, really good shoes. Along the same lines, I'm really enjoying these X81 joggers from ASICS. A very cool twist on what I feel like is like a retro kind of shoe. So you got these retro looks with kind of some modern features like this cushioning and everything. I believe also they use a lot of recycled materials in these, but these come in two different colorways. If you go to HUCKBERRY, you'll see like kind of a blue and red mix, and this more neutral kind of green and gold mix. Very light, very, very comfortable, have a really grippy, kind of a wider sole and everything too, but also have some similar cushioning technology at the bottom where, again, it's kind of this classic retro kind of look with these modern features of having that extra cushion. Some of the classic shoes look really cool, but it's basically just flat, thick rubber, not very comfortable all day. But these kind of change that a little bit. But I will say more than any other pair of shoes I've had, for some reason people will stop me and be like, hey, where'd you get those? Those are really cool. They have the vibes that you're looking for and the comfort that you really want in a shoe like this. So well worth your time. Check these out on HUCKBERRY too. Awesome shoes. So I think we'd all agree that no summer is really complete unless you're spending some time around a fire pit and spending some time around a grill. And the last thing I'm going to show you today is a really cool product from BioLite that kind of accomplishes both things. So this is their Fire Pit Plus, has some really interesting features. If you watch this channel at all, you know I'm into fire pits and I've checked out some really cool stuff. But this is another take on that smokeless fire pit idea that uses some technology to pull it off. It can also convert to a little charcoal powered hibachi grill too. So pretty interesting things. So let me grab the camera for a minute and I'll take you on a tour. So this is the BioLite Fire Pit Plus. And by the way, this is my cat Churro. He may try to make it into the video here. But this is a pretty interesting product. Like I mentioned, it covers kind of two different product categories. You have a smokeless fire pit, kind of a different take on that idea. And then you have a little convertible area that you can actually use as a makeshift hibachi grill. Pretty interesting. Before we get into those things, I want to take you on a quick tour of it. This is the battery pack and unit, which I'll explain more here in just a minute. We've got the fire pit body itself, which has this really cool, great material over both sides. The thing I really like about that is you can actually see the fire out of both sides. And unlike some of the solo stove stuff where the fire just comes, the radiant heat just comes straight up, this actually allows that radiant heat to go from both sides of the things. As you saw in the intro, the legs actually do fold up, and I have some comments about that I'll tell you about here in a second. So it sits up off the grass, although if you're using this on a surface that could be, there's Churro again, if you're using this on a surface that could be actually damaged by the heat and stuff, you want to make sure you've got some sort of protective coating under that. And then you've got carry handles up here and on the top. So like I mentioned, this is the little hibachi grate and cattail sticking out the back. But this just simply slides right off, and then you can just rotate that to get it off there. So you would feed wood to this thing. I've got a big old log in there just for size demonstration, but you got room for a, you know, 2 or 3 little half chunks of log in there to keep the fire going. So down the bottom, we've got the grate, and then we've got kind of the secret sauce to this thing. You'll see these holes throughout the system. So how this actually works is all those holes radiate air around the fire, which makes the fire burn hotter and cleaner, and it gets rid of most of the smoke. Again, none of these smokeless fire pits are actually all the way smokeless. But it does help quite a bit if you don't want that smoke in your eyes. So what makes the BioLite system so unique here is this battery pack in the end. It kind of has this release mechanism on the top where you can pop it off to charge it up and just like slot it back on. So it's securely mounted on there. But what it actually does when it's on is it blows air through this port that circulates through these vents all throughout. And they claim it's kind of in a circular motion that keeps the fire going. It actually is a very cool effect. So to turn it on, just press this button, and you can get just power if you want to use this for a USB power bank. Press the button again, then you've got air circulating throughout the fire pit. So I can feel it right now, just kind of a small breeze. And you'll notice, again, you're just going from my microphone here, you can't really hear it all that much at this low setting. Now, if you want to get that fire just blazing, or you're trying to really eliminate smoke from some smoky wood, you can crank it up to some different settings. You can probably already hear that kind of high-pitched whining. So we'll go ahead and crank it to full. And so on full, I mean, that is pretty high as far as like the noise pollution goes. So if you're looking for a nice peaceful fire, some people say that on that high setting, you may not really enjoy that all that much if you just hear that constant whining. Now, if you're in a loud environment, if you're taking this thing tailgating, that may not be an issue at all. Personally, I found actually the lowest level fan to be good enough anyway. And this thing does an awesome job burning wood and keeping stuff going. Now the second little trick I mentioned, you can take this burn basket at the bottom where your wood normally sits on. It's got these little things here, and you can lift that up and clip it on and move this grate back up on top. It kind of slots in and slides over. And then you can actually use this for charcoal and have a little makeshift hibachi grill. Now it is not a huge grilling surface. By my math, I mean, you could probably fit about 4 burgers on there going across, several hot dogs. Not a huge grill surface, but a really cool option. I think this thing is an awesome fit if you are like a tailgater, if you're somebody that's wanting like a portable option that you can take a bunch of different places and have a really nice kind of low-key fire pit, a really cool solution to grill to. Really the only critique I have of this thing is the sound if you're trying to use a higher output or you really need that to get the fire going. And I wish, as far as all the materials go, I feel like this metal is just a little bit flimsy. I feel like especially the legs are just a thin enough steel where I can see them getting bent accidentally over time. You just press this in and fold those in to like collapse it and everything. But I wish this steel on the legs was just about twice as thick. But all in all, at 20 pounds, cool technology, and I love the look of this thing. I think this is a really interesting option if you're looking for a different take on the fire pit this summer. All right, so that's it for my summer mail call and gear test. I hope you found some really cool stuff. As a reminder, you can find links for all this stuff down in the description. I've kind of shopped around and tried to find the best deals for you guys, so I hope that helps. Hey, jump in the comments and let me know, what are you carrying this summer? What's like the latest piece of gear that's making your summer awesome? I want to hear all about it. As always, if you dug this video, be sure to hit the like button because it helps the channel out a ton, and subscribe if you want to see more cool gear and stuff like this down the line. We'll see you next time.